All right, I need to make an arm for my wizard slash creature slash figure, right? So I've got the head on. I've done some detail work on the body. I've added some clay. I'm really happy. I've got a head hollowed out for the hat later, but I want to start working on the arms. And so the biggest mistake you can make with your arms is that you start off with a coil that's just way too fat. So the arm is skinny. The hand is what you need to be fat and big. So something thinner than my fingers and really like half the width of my finger. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start playing around with what I'm going to call his hand. Remember, that squished out this way, so I think this is going to be his left hand because his thumb is going to be on the outside. So I'm going to shape it a little bit. How do I want to shape it? Again, how much detail do you want? How much of this is in the sleeve and how much of this is actually out and about? So I'll come back and deal with this in a little bit. But this is good. It's not too fat. It's got a pretty good length to kind of fill up the arm and give it some kind of beef. I can even bend it a little bit, right? So whatever I'm going to do, but I'm going to come back to that. Now I need a sleeve, right? So what do I want to do with the sleeve? I'm going to start with some clay. I need my 2 sticks to roll. Anytime you start rolling, you want to flip. And so that way it grows, but it grows in all directions. It's not just getting long or fat, it's getting bigger. Okay, so that's now even with the roller. Like, it's not growing anymore, my rolling pin. I'm going to pick this up. If I still think it's a little too fat, if I'm not too happy with how big it is, right, I can squish it a little bit, but again, just kind of like I did earlier with the hood, I'm going to do it nice and slow because I don't want it to get too stuck. I don't want it to get stuck to the rolling pin. And just like previously, I'm flipping and rotating. Okay. I really don't want to get any thinner than that. So then I'm just going to start with a rectangle. How big? Well, that's a hard question to answer, to quantify. So I'm just going to start here. If I need to make it smaller, I can make it smaller. So I put my arm in it. It looks a little too big, so I can trim that. Just kind of a tester. Do you like the length? Does that look too long? Do you want something shorter, tighter? These are all questions you have to answer. So I can trim a little bit off because I thought that was a little too big. Put it back in. Okay, I'm happy with that. For this hand, I want it to be kind of cupped, like it's going to be holding something. So I want the palm up in the air. So again, making sure I understand which hand this is. Since it's going to be holding something, I'm going to keep it as a mitten. So I don't need to do too much work on this. Kind of squat that down, make it look more like a thumb, shorter and fatter than the rest of my hand. Okay, so if his hand's out, so kind of like so. Yeah, okay. So what do I want to do? Basic rules still apply. Have to slip and score. So I'm going to score all of this. I'm going to score the top of the arm. Slip. Kind of press him on. And I'm going to bend that up. Pinch those together. I'm going to seal up the back end. I'll deal with the air pocket later. And then I've got to decide, do I want it to be a straight arm? Do I want it to be kind of bent? So I'm going to bend it right there, kind of create like a little arm. You can see how that's going on. I can not make this a little knobby later on. Some of this I can trim off right now because I know I'm not going to need all that. Okay, so then I gotta get my figure. Start to look at where I'm gonna place it, how I want to bend it. This right here is not needed anymore, I can tell because of my design, so I'm gonna trim that off. All right, looking good. Now I'm going to move this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take this side here. I'm going to score where I'm going to put it. I'm going to slip it really well. And then I'm going to score the inside of the arm as well. And then I'm going to attach. So I'll turn it around so you guys can see what I'm doing. Where I want to position, push it on. You can use molders to help mold and get it on. Alright, and then I'll deal with some air pockets. I'll use my paintbrush to kind of clean it up, and that's how you take care of the arm.